Hi Flosstube, it's Narissa from Narissa's Stitching Lifestyle in Christchurch, New Zealand. Welcome. Today is 18th of September 2025. This is Flosstube number 58. Welcome to the craziness of Sampler September, of Stash Sampler starts, and the beginning of the crazy Christmas stitching. Less than 100 days to go. Okay, so first of all, thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. Thank you so much for coming and watching my videos that I put out there. Thank you for the likes and thank you so much for the comments. I know I have a couple that I need to answer and I will get back to those over the next couple of days. Some of them were, these couple were ones that had more than one question in, and when I read them at work I don't have time to actually fully answer them, and sometimes I do get a little bit forgetful and forget to go back. But I did notice when I was getting all this ready that there are a couple there that needed to be answered, so we will get on to that. Right, so shall we start? There's enough rambling, isn't it? Let's start. Okay, Christmas stitching. I know you're waiting for those samplers, but Christmas stitching. Okay, so I worked on 2 Christmas projects this time round. One of them is a finish. Prairie Schooler 2025 Centre. I stitch these yearly after completing this one, and when I assemble it they'll be completely up to date. So I've got them all, and you'll see those. I'll do another Christmas project parade later on. So here he is stitched in DMC thread called for colours on 18 count Ada that I dyed many years ago. It's just a mix of browns and pinks and greys, and I wanted a dirty colour. Sounds terrible, doesn't it? But I wanted a kind of grungy dirty Ada fabric, so I bought a metre of fabric, dyed it up and cut little squares out like this. And that's what I've been stitching my yearly centres on, so they're all on the same fabric, the DMC thread, and all finished the same way. So I love these. I love stitching this every year. They're just gorgeous, so cute. So there we go. There's my first finish for this video. Okay. My second project is went to Stitchy Meetup on Sunday and caught up with a lot of people that haven't seen. I haven't been for a little while because it just hasn't worked out with work, but managed to get this last Sunday was one. And my friend Jill, hi Jill, she brought along her Mrs. Claus to show me. She's stitched way more than I have. Hers also has a head and a face on it. Mine doesn't. I'm warning you now. But we're making progress, and that's what counts. So, Mrs. Claus. Here she is. She is beautiful stand up. And she is from x_little_stories over on Etsy. There's Mrs. Claus and Mr. Claus, and she's beautiful. So I have been working on her as my Christmas stitch because I want to get mine done too, Jill. Here are the DMC thread colours. Lots of lovely Christmas reds in there. Lots and lots of shades of red and pink. And here is my progress so far. So I have been filling in this one, ran out of thread, come back to that, but I have finished the arm bit in here in this red and come down, so I haven't got much to go to finish the actual front of the dress there. There's a little bit more up here in the front of the dress, and then we start with her white collar and then into her face and her bonnet. You do the arms and they're all separate, and when you assemble it all gets added in. Stitching on 36 count white. So I got using DMC threads, 2 threads over 2. And the reason I'm doing 2 threads is because it's going to be a stand-up and it's a fully stitched, so you stitch the front and the back. I wanted it to be that little bit thicker, so that it holds up over time a bit more. Okay, so I'm pleased with my little bit of progress. I haven't had much Christmas stitching time, but we're getting there. I need to get this half done so I can start the other half. I was hoping to do Mrs. and Mr. this year, but I think I'm going to stick just to finishing Mrs. Claus this year, and then next year I'll stitch Mr. Claus, or Santa, as we also know him. Okay, that's the end of my Christmas stitching. Not much, eh? I need to get on with those ornaments, and I have spent a little bit of time. I've pulled out what I've already started Christmas ornaments, and I've pulled out a stack about this big of what I want to stitch. Doesn't mean to say I'm going to get to it, but we won't show those today. We'll leave that for another video. Okay, we're going to look at samplers now. Right, we're going to start with my red thread a day, and my first red thread a day is Harriet Salt, stitched on 56 count cream Zweigart, using 103 silk threads. And where have I put it? My map, please. 103 silk thread in colour number 648, which is a real burgundy, and it's beautiful. I'm just going to say that it is beautiful. Okay, so my red thread a day. If you follow me on Instagram or on my Facebook, you already know Harriet is finished. I can't believe she's finally finished. Isn't she beautiful? There she is in all her glory. So what did I have left to do? I had the bottom bits along here to do, and the wording all in the middle here. Now I have changed it. Oh, sorry, that's the table. I stopped, put in the address. What is it? 3 New Orphan House. I bought the Bristol in the year up so that I could then put my name in the year that I have stitched it in the bottom here. That was my choice. I've chosen to do that because, to be honest, if it hasn't got my name on it, my kids are going to throw it away. And there's a lot of stitching and a lot of silk that have gone into this, so it needed to have my name on it. And I'm still remembering Harriet by having Harriet's name in there as well. But I just love this. I'm so pleased to have it done now. Okay, we started the red thread stitching together, a little group of us, when we were last at the Christchurch retreat. So I stitched a small sampler, a stitch in time, and then from the 12th of March, Harriet has been my morning stitch. So she's been stitched on every day, and if I missed a day, I did extra and caught up. Right through until she was finished on the 14th of September. So I'm pleased to have her done. She is so beautiful. So yes, 1 sampler finished and off the list. Yay! Okay, Harriet's going to go down there. Okay, my other red thread a day, it's Harriet's book, is Louisa Coulimore. She was started on the 1st of August for Stash Sampler Start. She is being stitched exactly the same as Harriet. So 56 count cream, Zweigart, 103 silk thread in the same colour, 648. when you're called for is, wherever it is, Gloriana Silk Red Schoolhouse Red. But I want mine all the same colour. So Louisa is being stitched, like I said, in that beautiful burgundy. And here is where I'm at. So Louisa was only getting one thread in the morning. Now she gets a couple of threads in the morning, which is what I was doing with Harriet. So we've made it down to the bottom. I've only done half of the Bible, so it's a bit. But that's the bottom, so I could cut it off my big piece of fabric. I basically had a strip 1/2 meter wide and the whole width of a bolt of fabric. So far we've got 2 Bristol samplers out of that one piece of fabric, and I will definitely get Mary will fit on there as well, and some smalls. I don't think I'll get another one unless I do a smaller Bristol, or a smaller red sampler, which I have got a few of those. But here is Louisa. So this morning I went, because I got to the bottom and I could trim all that off yesterday, I went back up and I finished the O and the P and the V, the W and half the X, and ran out of thread. So that was my 2 threads. So I'm just going to kind of do a bit, might do a morning with some borders or finish the border off, and oh my gosh, words are hard. Finish a row of alphabet and then come down and do a few motifs. Then go back up and do another, because alphabets don't take that long. But then you get stuck with all of this, and I kind of want to do a bit of a balance and work across the page a bit more. But this is on a piece of A3, just a piece of A3 board at the moment, just so you can see what it looks like. So yay, my red thread is still carrying on, and I will still carry on after this one. I have another one that is actually in my whips. It's not a Bristol sampler, but it is a red sampler, and it will come out after Louisa is finished, and I'll work on that. And then on the new year I'm going to start Mary, because I want to see how long it actually takes to do another one, another big one. It's going to pop Louisa behind us. Okay, so next up is Hannah Campbell, 1838, from Hands Across the Sea Samplers. This is beautiful. Hannah is so beautiful, and I've been procrastinating on stitching her, and we need to get her done. Right, here is all of the 103 silk threads that I've been using. She's being stitched on vintage sand June lakeside linens in 46 count. And here is my progress on Hannah. This is where she's at. There is a lot of 1/1 in Hannah. So I'm going to come in closer so we can see what we worked on. Where even though I've brought it all the way down to the bottom, I've still got to do the red colour that goes in between all of this part. But I don't want to leave all that 1/1 until the end. So this time round we did the D and the F, which are 1/1 in here. And then I went over, because it's the same thread, and I did the base here and started doing part of it there and part of the crown here, which is very similar to over here, just slightly different styles, but same general shape. So Hannah got some love. There is probably about her true colour. But I'm really enjoying stitching on Hannah. I love all my projects, and sometimes it's really hard to put them down to pick up the next one. But it would be a very boring Flosstube if I only had one thing to show you, wouldn't it? It might be finished, but there'd only be one thing to show you. Okay, so Alright, so my next sampler that I worked on is another one that I want to have. Oh my gosh, my hair just wants to get in my face today. Another one that I want to have finished before the end of the year, or by the end of the year, is Ann Diaper 1826 from Hands Across the Sea Samplers. This is beautiful. I haven't seen many people stitching Ann, which is such a shame. She's a lovely sampler. She's gorgeous. Right, so I'm stitching mine on a piece of 36 count. So this is one of my only 36 count samplers that I still have going at the moment. I am using called for DMC threads. And we've made quite a bit of progress this time around. So here is my full picture of Ann and where we're at currently. Come on close as you can see what I've worked on. So all of this is in 1/1. So we've put in learn to improve. I think I had learn to. So I've got improve this, so a couple of threads for the 1/1. I'm just going to keep doing that until that's done. Then I came down here, and I came down here, and I had the basket done, but all the fruit and the greenery in the top has now been added in, and we started doing the mirror image for this side on this side here. So the bottom of the pot for the tree is done. The deer is done apart from her eye, which I'll add in, and the tree, what are we called? Branches. Trunk, thank you, words. Trunk and the branches are done. And I've done the red flowers on it, so I need to go back in and fill in all the greenery for in there, and then the same for the greenery here, and then that bottom part will be done. I also, there's 2 layers of stitching in the whirly in the border, so I hadn't finished the second colour, which is a lot lighter in this one, so I got that done, and then I had the leaves here and half of one here, and I started bringing the leaves around and putting the stems out ready for the flowers, and I'll just continue doing a little bit of that and putting the stems out. Then I'll put the flower centers in, because then I can come along like I have here. We can see like blues at the top, so I pretty much grabbed the pink and I've run where all the pink ones are down the side, then the orange, then the blue, and I've still got to do the same on this side. It needs all the leaves and that in, so just trying to jump around a little bit. We're going to have to put this beautiful flower in soon, and this one here repeats over here as well. Now, put that down for a second. At the bottom of Ann, there's all of this here. I don't want that. The poem is at the top, up here, which is what I'm stitching. At the bottom, it just says, Ann Diaper is my name. And in this, I wrote the same. And by this, you plainly see what care my parent took of me, aged 8 years. So I'm not putting that in. I am going to actually put my name, not Ann's. This is not going to be a family sampler one. It's too big compared to the sizes of the others. So I will put my name in here and the year it's finished, hopefully 2025, that's the goal. And I'll add maybe some more birds or butterflies or something that's already used in the sampler in to fill in some of that gap, so it's not all gappy. But you'll see, as we stitch and make progress, you'll see that will probably be the last part that gets done. But here we go, once again, Ann Diaper. And she's beautiful. It's a tan and pink fabric colour blend that I did. Mostly tan on the bottom and splashes of pink mixed through it. she's beautiful. And you know I say that about all of them. So yay, really good progress on Mary Ann. I'm happy with that. She will be coming out again this fortnight. Okay, my next sampler that I worked on, another one that I want finished before the end of the year, is Examplars from the Heart, and They Sinned. And I made some really good progress on this. I know, I'm going to say that about all of them because I seriously have. I concentrated, like I said, on just a few, but got quite a bit of stitching done. This is being stitched on 40 count cream Zweigart linen. Using the called for Simply Shaker threads, and whoops, those that I couldn't get at the time, I just grabbed the DMC equivalent. On some of them I've run out of the specialty thread, so I've had to use the substitute of the DMC, so I've just been very careful on where I've worked those in, and I'm just going to grab her. Right, so, oh my gosh, that piece of hair really is annoying me. I've got it on a board with another sampler in behind it, so you're not going to see the top half today. You're just going to see, here's the bottom and what I've worked on. So I've been working on that bottom panel. The pond is now filled in. We got that all done, and someone asked me a question. Yes, the pond is going in the opposite direction. Well done. So the diagonals for the grass go this way, and because I didn't want a stripe like this way across my pond, I've actually gone the opposite diagonal, because it is a multicolored thread, and it just gives the illusion of waves blowing in the wind, especially with the diagonal grass going the opposite way. So pond finished. Let's see, we did the little bird up here on top of this animal, sheep, cow, whatever he is, animal. This one here got done, this one here got done. I came down and finished the flowers here and the little colours in the half stars, and as you can see, I have been in a sea of green. Beforehand, we back up here by the bird. So all of this green has gone in, all of this green has gone in, and some of it, as you can see quite clearly, about, gosh, can I see it? Well, I've come down to here for all of the grass, so the second colour's gone in, and I've finished all of these rows down here with the second colour. So we're making progress. It's a lot of green. I took this to Stitchy Group, and we're there 3-4 hours, and I stitched literally green thread after green thread after green thread. It takes about 4 to get that whole one row of green thread in. So we're getting there. I knew it was going to be a biggie to try and get a lot of this done, and it probably to you guys doesn't look like a lot of difference, but if I remember, I will try and insert a photo. Sometimes I struggle trying to get them into the actual video. End of the video is fine, but trying to get them in, or I may even pop it. Actually, I might pop that in when I do my photo montage at the end. I might put my before and then my afters, so you can actually see quite clearly, especially like this one. You can see exactly where I've, how much I've stitched. But loving this, I'm really enjoying stitching it, and I'm so going to miss stitching it when it's done. But I'd say she's still around at least for another month to 6 weeks. I'd say that will take us to get through all of that. Can't wait. Okay, so there we go. Examplars from the Heart, and They Sinned. Okay. Oops, just popping that away. It's back. Okay, so my next lovely sampler that I pulled out is Sarah Braizear 1829. She was Queen of the May for 2018 from Hands Across the Sea sampler. She's a big girl, she's beautiful. And as you know, she is on my goal list to finish this year. She is just amazing to stitch. Right, I am stitching this on 56 count. Cream Zygarde. Here's the thing about cream Zygarde. Using DMC threads. These are all the colours. They're getting a little bit ratty. I did one of them I finished, and I had to go and get another, and now I can't remember what it was. Another skein out of my stash, so that I could keep working on her. Right, shall we see what we've done? She's on the big board. Okay, Sarah Brazier. Isn't she beautiful? My goodness. Right, so when I picked Sarah up, I didn't really know. I know I said I was going to finish the middle in here, and because I really want to get that top half done, but I wasn't really in a counting mood, and that happens every now and then. And the perfect stitch for doing that is satin stitches. So the second row on the sampler, this one here, all the way across, and not quite halfway down on that other end. Not quite halfway down. There's the halfway mark here. No, sorry, here is the halfway mark. So not quite, but lots of satin stitch. Lots and lots and lots in that border. But definitely, like, especially when you're doing it like that, there's not a lot of counting. This is what I do, is I go to, trying to get it to sit nicely. Okay, so this one here, it comes down to about here. I find it on the pattern, count down how many gaps or whatever from the edge of the motif, and then I move my way back up. Finish that one, come into the next colour, work my way. So it's not, you know, not counting 2, 3, 5 all the time. I find that's easier, and I find it actually seems to work a lot better, and the stitches sit a lot nicer. So Sarah will be coming out. She has a, start that thought again. Sarah Brazier is one weekend's project, and They Sinned is the second weekend's project. So They Sinned was worked on the weekend just been. It's Sarah's turn for this weekend coming. So hopefully we'll get some really good stitching in on Sarah. I do have to work this weekend, but my shift has been changed around a little wee bit, so there should potentially be more stitching time to get done for this. So hopefully. Goal still to be finished by the end of the year. Right, so next one out of the bag to be stitched on was Anais Curveur 1896 from Reflex de Soie. This is the one I'm doing with a stitch along with, let me see if I can remember everybody, and I apologize if I do miss someone out. Susie, Jude, Tanya, Anna, Margaret, and me. I think that's it, just the 6 of us. We're all stitching this. Some are doing it in silks, some are doing it in DMC. I am doing mine on DMC, and we all have chosen different fabrics. So it's really lovely to see how they all look different. Susie was here this morning. Thank you for coming for your visit today, Susie. It was awesome to catch up. And Susie's doing it in the, what are you doing? You're doing the Sweater J Avera Soie. And some of her colours are a lot deeper, darker. There's a wee bit of red, like in the flowers around here and stuff. And the red is in the ones that I've stitched. And in mine, it's 815 DMC, and it's 4625 in Susie's, and that is a real burgundy red compared to the red I mean, it's still a burgundy red, but it's not, where are we? It's a real deep plum red, I guess I would call Susie's. So they look different just depending on the DMC and the silk. And then of course you throw in the fabric colour differences and they look amazing. So, rambling, but on the 15th of each month we stitch on this project. I had to work a 10-hour day on the 15th, so I didn't get a lot done, but I did put some stitches in, and I am at the top center. So this was the flower I'd done before. I'd started part of the bones of this one, and I did get quite a bit done, quite a bit of greenery, the reds, the purple. So it's pretty much, I think, 2 colors to fill in the flower, and that was pretty much it, ready to go. So not a lot of stitching. This was another one of my stash sampler starts, and we started this at the end of October, the last Friday in October, as part of our stitch along as well. So it is a stash sampler start, it is now a whip, and part of that stitch together. So I'm loving how this is coming out with my DMC threads, and that I chose the colour that works for me. Like I said, everybody's got different fabrics, different colour choices. Some of the colours are really faded, some of them are really bright, but that's all part of an antique sampler, isn't it? And I think they look great. Oop, just going to put my needle in my hand, so there you go. I'll just pull that up just a little bit closer so you can see this beautiful stitching. 40 count, 1 thread over 2, using the DMC threads. Okay, righty ho. So stash sampler starts, or my next sampler start, because you know, finished one, go start one. No, still part of it. This is start number 8 for me of stash sampler starts. Elizabeth Beaven, 1835. Now this has the one we talked about last time. It has a lot of specialty stitches. There's a lot of hidden detail in all these. So I'm doing the cross stitch part first, then I'm going to go back and do like in each section. So like I'll finish, say, the top row, I'll do all this cross stitch stitching, then I'll go back and I'll do the specialty stitches. Nicola from Hands Across the Sea Sampler in the booklet. I'm going to show this because it's not part of the pattern. It's not part of the pattern. It's not the pattern. So this, as you can see, there's lots of freehand stitching in this. So lots of beautiful guidelines. Oops, here we go. Beautiful guidelines for them all. And I'm really loving this. I'm loving the colours on this. So what are we, the fabric? Fabric is 46 count. Russian Caramel from number 12 Stitch Co. There you go. I'm so naughty, I'm not showing my stitching yet. 46 count. Okay. Here are all the colours. I am doing mine in the DMC. There's some lovely neutrals in this, and then like the pop of colour, like the pink. There's a blue, pink, red, blue. Like they're just gorgeous. Just suddenly a bright colour pops up. Right, so I started in the top centre. And here, oh, that's a bit blowing out. That's probably true to colour. No, a little bit deeper. But we have to come closer for you to see. So, here is my stitching. This is the centre bird. Now he is washed out, and he is washed out in the pattern when you even blow him up. And that's fine. I'm happy with that. That's okay. Here's the next bed along, and then this one's going the other way. As you go further along here, up above is where all that specialty vine stitching and stuff comes into it. So just the DMC thread stitches at the moment. So 1 thread over 2 on the 46 count. I think there was 1 over 1. Is there 1 over 1 on this one? Yes. Excuse me. Yes, because of all the specialty stitches and stuff. But, oh, can't wait to sink my teeth into this one. But she will go away for a little bit now. I may pull her out and do a tiny bit more because I really like her. But I have other things to stitch and I want to finish those samplers, so I have to be careful not to get too sidetracked. Okay, so that was my stash sampler starts for Friday just been. Throw that here. Okay, my next whip, that's my picture gone, yeah, is my one I'm doing for the marathon stitching with the running stitcher. So from the 1st to the 7th he did 31 miles and I got those 31 threads in. From the 8th to the, oh my gosh, whatever Sunday's date, I am a little bit behind. Sunday's date was, come on ladies, help me out. Where are we? 18th, so 14th, 13th. Is that right? Whatever Sunday was. He did 34. I've done 4 of those 34, so I'm 30 threads behind, and I will catch up. While Iris Snaps Designs from, and this one is Mary Gypson, or Gypson, 1828. This is beautiful. I brought this from Homespun and Needleworks Facebook group when it came out with them, but yeah, I believe it is available now, I'm pretty sure. I bought the Weeks Dye Works version and I'm stitching mine on, oh my gosh, what was my fabric? Do I have a tag still on it? Nope, I don't. One moment please. Here we go. The fabric is 40 count Thornfield linen by Flex, needle and flex. This is beautiful. I hadn't stitched a piece of theirs and loving it. So here we go. Here is my progress so far. So I'm going to come in closer. Before I started the challenge, I did show this to you guys last time and I hadn't stitched, or had I stitched some on it? I don't think I had. No, because I'd chosen my project. So none of this was here. I had half of this done and there's still one more colour I need to come out and do, and I keep forgetting to pull that thread out and do that one. So I have stitched this flower. It's just been coloured in now. The birds, these, the angels, all the wedding, this part, and down to the centre motif. So all of that is in there, and if I had a little thread left, I just went over to wherever it needed to go, part of the berry bowl that's next door. Loving this. To do a whole week's worth and do a whole week's worth of threads pretty much takes me, if I'm home for the day, it's a day stitching session to do it all for the week. If I'm not doing it in the day, it's a 2-night session to get them done. I've been on night shift, so I haven't had a chance to get those last few caught up, but like I said, I'll try very hard this time around to get them done, because there'll be this week that he's currently running that I'll need to add into that list. So what I've done is I have a sheet like this and I'm writing the dates and how many miles, and then just marking off as I pull the thread and stitch it as to how far we've got. But that's awesome progress. So this will keep going as my marathon stitch. Okay, so that was that. That is it. That is all of my samplers. Okay, I have a couple more things to show you. Okay, so tomorrow is Friday. which means another start for Stash Sampler Starts. This one I have been waiting patiently to start, and it is from the Cross Stitch, Family Circle Cross Stitch magazine book that came out in, I know I looked it up last time, 1993. And I am stitching on the page the traditional sampler, which is this big guy here. And that's what they've called it, is traditional sampler. This is beautiful. Some of the motifs are similar to Dutch Beauty, which I didn't get a chance to pull out this fortnight, but we'll get there. I will be stitching this on a piece of 40 count that I dyed myself. Now, I've dyed it this colour, which is like a turmeric, I guess you would call it, but it looks really great with all the colours on it. I know there's some faded threads looking there, but they actually stand out really nicely. Did a little couple of test stitches, and some of the really light ones are in the middle of the dark colours, so they'll be absolutely fine. But can't wait to start that. So that will be 1 thread over 2, and that will be started tomorrow. Yay! Can't wait. So that is my next start for Stash Sampler Starts, and I forgot to pull out the last one. So that's number 9. That will be number 9. Then there's one more, which makes 10, because there's 9 Fridays in August and September, and I've done 1 extra, but I'm actually going to do 2 extras. They're just smaller samplers that I want to get started. So I've already done 1 extra, and that's why I'm up to 9 already. Okay, I received a couple of gifts, which was really lovely. My friend Jude went to Daisy Chain with Susie and Judith, and Jude got me this lovely piece of fabric. Gorgeous, isn't it? And they are Whoopsie Daisy Designs. It's called Stone Smoke. It's a 46 count. Isn't that beautiful? Can't wait to find something to stitch that on that, Jude, and a scissor fob. So thank you very much, Jude. Appreciate it. Can't wait. I will be hunting through those samplers to find something that will work with that. Susie and I placed an order with Traditional Stitching. Sorry, it's unwrapping this. It's still in its bag. I hadn't unwrapped it completely. Yes, from Roxy. What are we? Roxy Floss Co. in Canada, and I got some 40 count London Fog. Just trying to see if I can see a nice mottled part. And this is beautiful. Susie is stitching a sampler on it now. But look at that mottling. Isn't that gorgeous? So I got a fat half, which I will probably make sure the stitch is half. She's a good piece. So we should be able to get 1, 2, maybe 3 samplers or more out of that, depending on the size of them that I decide to do. So lovely. Thank you, Susie, for asking me if I wanted to purchase anything for that. That's it. I've cleared the couch. I've cleared the chair. We have everything. Okay, so 1 stitch at a time will get your samplers done. 1 stitch at a time will get your Christmas ornaments done. 1 stitch at a time will get any project done. We just need to put that 1 stitch in. So guys, happy stitching. We'll see you next time. Have some fun with this. It is awesome. This is my everyday. Every day I have to stitch. If I don't, I'll get a little bit grumpy. I'm going to say it. No, I don't. Yes, I do. But guys, happy stitching. My goodness. Let's keep those needles moving, eh? See you next time. Bye.